Hi, today I'll tell you about the movie Till Death, which one was released 2021. Emma is not happily married to her cold, domineering husband Mark, a criminal defense lawyer. Things escalate even after Mark took over the Bobby case. The guy who once attacked Emma and wounded her with a knife. Because of all the troubles, the girl finds a lover named Tom, who works for her husband's firm. She quickly realizes that she made a mistake and broke up her relationship with him. After all, the wedding anniversary with Mark will take place the other day. On this beautiful day, Mark surprises her with an unusual necklace made of steel. After dinner, he tells her that he has prepared another surprise. Emma finds a bandage in her pocket and they send it to the house by the lake that they often visited at the beginning of their relationship. Upon arrival, Emma removes the blindfold from her eyes. On the table she notices a note with wedding vows. Then follows the clues that Mark left all over the house. In the end, she finds her husband on the second floor. He apologizes to her for not being a good husband. And at some point, Emma begins to believe in the sincerity of his words and they make love. The next morning, Emma wakes up and finds herself handcuffed to Mark, who shoots himself in the head without further ado. The girl begins to panic, she pushes him away and falls off the bed with him. After a while, she accepts reality and calms down. Emma is trying to think of a rescue plan. She begins the path to liberation from a landline phone that naturally does not work. Then she takes the gun and tries to shoot off the chain of handcuffs, but there are no more bullets inside, and so she just throws it away. Then she drags the body to the closet and sees that only her wedding dress is left there, behind which there is a safe. Emma puts Mark's body under the dress and drags him down. After falling down the stairs and miraculously not breaking her bones, Emma discovers that Mark destroyed her mobile phone and removed all sharp objects in the house. She checks the trash can and finds the keys to the car that is in the garage. After putting on Mark's clothes, Emma goes to the garage. When she starts the car, the tape recorder plays a mocking message from Mark saying that he found out about her affair with Tom. Therefore, he shot himself as he could not survive such humiliation. Then the SUV stalls because Mark took care and drained all the fuel. As a result, she has no choice but to return back to the house. There Emma washes off the blood and goes down to the basement where she hopes to find tools that are naturally not there. At some point, her nerves give out and she accuses Mark of hypocrisy. In one of the rooms she finds her photos with Tom, as well as an old photo after the attack, including a photo of the criminal himself. She turns on the player on which there is a recording of Emma's interrogation about those terrible events. After all, that night a criminal named Bobby attacked a girl and wounded her with a knife. In response she managed to hit him in the eye with keys, which is why she saved her life. Suddenly she hears a car pull up outside and someone comes to the door. It turns out that Tom has arrived, who tells her that he has received messages from her asking him to help her. Emma opens the door and explains to her what happened. Tom tells her that last night the prosecutor's office brought charges against Mark because of the falsification of several cases. Therefore, he knew that his career was doomed. Emma asks Tom to call the police, but he explains to her that everything that is happening looks very strange. Tom believes her, of course, but being a lawyer understands that the cops may not believe it at all, especially after she washed the traces of blood from her face. Emma still insists that he call the police. And when Tom goes outside to get his phone from the car, they notice a car approaching. Tom tells Emma to hide, and he goes outside. A car pulls up, a man named Jimmy comes up and says that he was called to fix a broken pipe. Tom tries to politely explain to him that now is not the time. He gives him money and asks him to leave. But suddenly another man gets out of the car who approaches Tom and instantly stabs him several times. As a result, they break into the house and Emma recognizes one of them as Bobby, the same criminal who attacked her and served 10 years for it. Jimmy is very upset that his brother killed Tom. He apologizes to him when Tom takes his last breath and then begs Bobby to leave, but he reminds his younger brother that they need to find a girl first. Bobby goes upstairs and finds the safe. Emma manages to get to the barn at this moment. But Jimmy notices the traces of blood and goes after her. The girl finds an anchor and begins to chop off Mark's hand with it. But just at this moment Jimmy comes to the barn and she has to hide in the boat. He looks around and notices the man's body, which scares him, and runs back to the house for his brother. But before they both return to the barn, Emma manages to free herself from Mark's body and hide. The girl lies and overhears Bobby telling his brother that it was Mark who hired him. He says that they definitely need to find a girl to find out the code from the safe. Bobby notices a trail of blood and realizes that Emma is without shoes, so she won't run far. Then they go into the house and Jimmy tells his brother that in order to open the safe, in addition to the code, you also need a fingerprint. So Jimmy goes to the barn to get Mark's body. Just at this time, Emma is dragging a canister of fuel that she found in the boat. By some miracle, the guy does not notice her and she successfully gets to the garage where she starts refueling the car. But Bobby comes to the garage even after he punctures the wheels. Emma has to run to the basement. She finds herself trapped on the stairs because Bobby is already in the basement and Jimmy is right in front of the door. When they start approaching her, she remotely turns on the car alarm, which distracts their attention. The brothers start arguing and Bobby convinces Jimmy that they have to finish the job. After all, while he was in prison, they lost their home. They go in search of her again. Emma at this moment says goodbye to Tom, then takes his coat and shoes. Emma sneaks into the attic and lures the men there. She knocks out Bobby with a golf club when Jimmy comes running and finds her brother. She beats him too and then locks him in a room. The girl tries to escape in Tommy's car, but Bobby comes running and pulls her out of the car. Emmy manages to call 911 before Bobby grabs the phone and knocks her out. Later, she wakes up in the bedroom again handcuffed to Mark's body. She tells them that she doesn't know the combination, but Bobby presses her to the floor and says that the code is the day Mark proposed to her. But the girl still refuses to cooperate with them, realizing that then she will be killed. Then Bobby starts to torture her, but the more correct Jimmy tries to stop his brother and points a gun at him, which he finds under the bed. Jimmy calms everyone down, and then Emma agrees to say the date, but only after she is unbuckled from the corpse. They take off her handcuffs, and she tells them the code. Bobby opens the safe, but finds there only a hacksaw with an inscription that says that the diamonds are in Emma's necklace that cannot be removed. It turns out Mark deliberately set everything up. He understood that the criminal would just cut off her head. Jimmy tries to remove the jewel, but Bobby loses patience and is about to behead her. He pulls out a gun and knocks out his brother. But when he pulls the trigger to shoot Emma, he realizes that there are no bullets inside. Jimmy tries to stop him, and during a scuffle, Bobby accidentally kills his younger brother. Enraged, the man attacks Emma and stabs her in the leg. And when he's about to hit her again, she dodges him, takes the tool, and hits him on the head. Then he handcuffs him to Mark's body and runs away. Emma returns to the car. She manages to start the car on the remnants of fuel that she managed to pour earlier. Then Bobby comes to the garage and Emma knocks him down, but then loses control and crashes into the shed. The girl gets out of the car and goes to the lake, where she manages to catch up with Bobby, who is dragging Mark's corpse behind him all this time. Emma stabs him in the shoulder with a knife, and just at that moment the ice falls through, and Mark's body falls into the lake, dragging Bobby with it. But he manages to grab Emma and drag her away with him too. Under the water, the girl pulls a knife out of his shoulder and stabs him in the eye, which is why Bobby lets her go, and he goes to the bottom. At the last moment, Emmy manages to break the ice and get out of the lake. She takes off her wedding ring and throws it into the water. From afar, she hears a police siren. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it. Guys, if you want to support us, click the red button below. See you next video.